let's talk about why we moved to Sweden. I woke up pretty early today at like 5 a.m. because of the jet lag. Because this is like our third day in Sweden. Going strong. But look how bright it is outside. That early morning sunlight here in Sweden, because you're so far north, I don't know how to explain it. Except for one word. It's magical. It's just straight up magical. Not even just 12-minute walk, and I'm here at the ocean. It's not even 6 a.m. yet. This is a great way to start the day, and the air smells so good. I come from a place that has actually really poor air, despite being high up in the mountains. Yeah. I think I could get used to living here. Alright, so it's a really special time. We've just arrived in Sweden, we've moved from the US to here, to Stockholm, and we have to register with what's called the Skatteverket. It's like this Swedish IRS. And this is a really important step because, for a lot of reasons, because we can't really live or work in Sweden without being registered. We can't get a bank account, we can't even get a cell phone number, because all these systems are linked together. And what's actually even more important, at least in my case, is in order to get my Swedish citizenship, I have to be registered for as living here, as this is my residence in Sweden, for a certain amount of time. I think it's about 3 years for my situation, that I'm a Danish citizen married to a Swede. So that's why today's special, because this marks the beginning of that residency in order to qualify myself to become Dane the Swede. So let's do it. All right, day one, being Dane the Swede. For example, if I were to move to the US, where would you go to register that you live there? You might go to the DMV to register your voter registration if you're a US citizen. You would, I don't even know where you go like that. There's no storefront, so to speak, for the IRS. The Swedish Skatteverket, they have storefronts. Storefront is not the right word, but they have physical buildings you can go to with real humans you can talk to get all your tax stuff done. And when I say tax stuff, it's kind of like you're just registering with the system, because unlike the US, where every system is kind of separated from each other, and that's highly inefficient because they don't talk to each other. It's a one-stop shop here. You go to the Skatteverket, you register, everything is connected, you know where to vote, you can, if you had to deal with your pension or unemployment benefits, all that is just connected, and it's just a one-stop shop where you do all of that. So you might be wondering why we moved to Sweden. And there are a couple of reasons. But in order to fully illustrate this, I want to talk with my Swedish wife, Jackie. Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
Why did we move to Sweden?
Well, for me there's a lot of reasons, but in part, the burnout hustle of being a parent in the US did it for me.
What's going on in your head when you say burnout hustle? What does that all entail?
First of all, we are constantly stuck in a car.
Yeah.
With kids.
Yeah.
With no playgrounds or easily accessible any kind of entertainment for kids. At least where we were. Mm-hmm. And we lived in a townhome in downtown Salt Lake. Big breakfast. The other part is constantly have to worry about what are we going to do if a kid is sick? Who stays home with the kid? Who doesn't get to work? Who doesn't get paid for work that said day?
Right.
Which usually ends up on me because I'm the lower paying parent, and Dane also has a much more intensive schedule than me. And I have the opportunity to work at home pretty flexibly for my job. Third reason is health insurance. Constantly having to worry about who, what, when, how much will it cost to be seen by a doctor. And kids have got to be kids and not to have to be Hawkeye watched and bubble wrapped all day long, which that's practically what it is in the US. So we're thinking this weekend could be a really good idea. It's like do little mini improvements to the apartment that we're living in. Their cousins come over, they go out to play while we're painting. Everything's going great. In my head in the back, I'm like, we're gonna have to go to the emergency room. I'm sure.
That's just how the nature of this.
That's just how the nature of like having kids and being anywhere is.
You travel somewhere new, you're gonna go to the emergency room, and then
In shoots our crying kid, absolutely hysterical, covering his eyes. He said he was holding an ant and its butt squirted something into his eye. From what we understand, it was a fire ant that squirted something into his eye. But for all we know, he could also have been holding and looking at it really closely, and something flew into his eye in conjunction with looking at the ant. We don't know.
literally a kid being a kid.
In the car, I realized, like, oh yeah, like a fire ant, if they spray acid at you, it's actually like, it could be corrosive. So, oops.
Not something you want in your eye. So you go to an eye specialist, ER eye specialist place.
We get in, we're seen almost immediately. They look at us eye. We pay for the admissions fee just before we see. It's 120 crowns, which is about $11.50. That's it. So
$11.50 for that entire visit.
Yep.
And in the U.S.,
doctor, we're in and out in 15 minutes.
Yeah. And our kid is feeling better. And then compared to the U.S., that whole debacle would have cost us
at least $1,500 with our insurance.
That's on top of the premium we pay every month.
Had we not had any insurance, this is at least a $4,000 visit. Just period, because you charge for admittance fee. The doctor sees you. Heaven forbid you have an X-ray.
This is why we live in Sweden. Because we have this peace of mind from day to day that, like, even if the worst stuff happens, we can rely on the system that we pay our taxes towards, but at least we're getting something out of it. We went on and had a great weekend, and...
Did we have a great weekend, though?
Well, we got...
His eyeball hurts.
Yeah, his eyeball hurts, but...
it will heal just fine.
He might lose his eyeball, but you're still totally chill about it.
I don't know. If he needs surgery, whatever he needs... Maybe he loses his eyeballs, I could be fine, because it's like... It's taken care of here. I don't have to worry about being financially ruined and having a kid with one eye.
Right.
Whereas here, if you need to call an ambulance, guess what? It's free. In the U.S., it's a $4,000, depending on the company who runs the ambulances.
And how are you supposed to know that in the moment when your leg is broken? I still feel like we were one bad accident away from poverty because of all the expenses involved. And that's nuts! That's not living, that's not freedom.
Not in any way.
That's not a system that's, like, focused on your well-being.
So here's another fun fact for you.
Oh, okay.
There's something called high cost protection in Sweden, which means your out-of-pocket expenses can only hit a certain amount before everything is free. Doctors, visits, medicine. You want to take a wild guess at how much that is?
Okay, so this would be like in the U.S. where, like, you have to hit a certain amount before your insurance starts really kicking in.
Everything, which can be like
absurd.
$1,000.
So I remember when we were paying like $800 a month, I feel like ours was about $6,000
per person.
Per year. Which is insane. Like, if you're going to
also have a family max.
But if you're going to a hospital that often, that's a high problem. Okay, so what is it in Sweden?
It's 2,600 Swedish crowns, which is like roughly what, like
$200,
$240 maybe.
That's the yearly max.
That's the yearly max.
You hit $240, and everything else is covered, 100%.
Yeah, you need your entire body surgery from a car accident. There you go.
If you get you get both eyeballs scratched by an ant, get them replaced.